Howdy, everybody.
Hello.
So we're still waiting on Kelly. I don't know where she is, but I'm sure she will join us soon. But for now, we got Myrtle, and we have our special guest, Didi.
Well, thank you for inviting me. This is exciting.
I know. Well, I don't remember when the last time we had you on, but I think it was last year.
Hmm.
I'm up here with professionals.
You got some pretty professional stuff going on as well,
I
Yes, I
like
tried.
do.
I tried.
like ponds, right?
Well, now I do have one or two, maybe three,
Maybe three.
and I got maybe four and five coming up.
Are they all like tubs, or you have any in ground?
Well, three of them's tubs, and the two on the front porch. I haven't even really decided if I'm gonna put animals in them, but I'm doing the bog system and just water right now with plants. Of course, right now it's rocks, but
Right.
that's what it's going to be. I've just got the catch water in the buried in the ground somewhat, and just started that. So,
Cool.
but I may throw a fish in there. Some of those gambusias, that are right there in the ditch. I might throw some of them in there.
That's
They're
what I
tough.
did when I just had that little they have the sterilite tub. Just let
Uh-huh.
rain collect in there, and I'm like, well, let's see what how the gambusia will do because it's either take them out of the ditch or let them. They're like they live in a puddle because like the ditch doesn't go all the way during the dry season. It just kind of collects in different puddles. So just a
Yeah.
few out of there. They're still alive, but I'm gonna whenever I get that other big tub filled up, I'm gonna do something a little better than that. All right, let me make you bigger here.
This is my last year ponds.
Ooh.
Nice.
Of course, this year's just starting, so it's not what it will be. But
Well, look what
last,
that kitty dragged in.
Sorry. I
thanks,
just
Fat Kitty.
totally lost track of time. Oh, wow, Didi. Look
This
at
is
your
last
pond.
year's. This is last year,
Last year's
and,
pond.
and this
So
view is my
exciting.
view from my bedroom window. So that's why you see a screen.
That's nice.
Hmm.
Look at that. So is the lotus in there?
No, and this year it's on a 40 on the back side.
Okay.
So it moved this year, but last year it was on the side of the shed because I want to make sure it got full sun.
It does
But,
like full sun.
but look what y'all were able to teach me how to do.
Look
I
at
mean,
you. Look
I
at
would
Yeah,
not have done this without y'all.
you're amazing.
Oh
but that
Wow.
wait,
was
what's
just
going
last
on
year.
there?
This year we do much better.
Oh, that's just a
Allium.
garlic flower right there.
Yeah.
It was so pretty I couldn't delete it. But that was
Um,
when my lotus was starting to come out.
yeah, the first they send out the coin leaves first, and then the aerial leaves.
Cool. There's a
Because
lot
I,
of
I had it
duckweed
full
in
of
there too.
duckweed.
Mm.
There's the 40 with the lotus in it. But
Nice.
it was so hot back there. I felt so sorry for the shrimp. And I mean, the
Oh
fish in there.
no. Well, at least they got some shade from the duckweed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I kept it in there to give them a little reprieve. But this year I moved it and I put the lotus in a 100 gallon.
And oh, cool. Yeah, I don't like that. There
And
was a
this was
bee.
just a wasp that was out there. I don't know what it was. I'd never seen one like that.
Dude.
But he was like hanging around. Like I was scared to swat at it because I didn't know if he was one of them killer ones. I'm trying to find him again, but because he's hiding from me. But you can see his little whiskers every
Mhm.
once in a while.
Hmm.
Wow. So what plant is that?
I have no idea.
Hmm.
I keep that's a just one in a bucket. I also do some 5 gallon buckets, and this I found on Gardening with Leon, where he about 5 inches up from the bottom of the bucket, you drill a hole, and then you fill the bottom with bottles, cans, or whatever. So it's at that a little bit higher than that 5 inch little line that you drew that hole at. and then you put your a piece of landscape fabric or something like that. Push it all the way down to the bottom so it can go all the way down in the center of all those cans and stuff. And then you
Mhm.
put your soil in and also a wick. I use old t-shirts and whatnot. And then you put your plant at the top and then you fill it up. So you always have a reservoir of 5 gallons, a 5 gallon bucket 5 inches high of water for that plant to go on. If you
Oh,
go
right.
uptown for a couple of days or something.
Nice.
But that's what we have to do because if we leave 2 or 3 days in like July, you come back, everything's dead.
Yeah, I have to have my neighbor waters all my stuff while I'm gone because she takes care of the cats too. So
Yeah, this is why I can only have aquatic plants, semi-aquatic plants, because I will forget to water the plants. Like even
uh,
when I'm just home, I'm
I
gonna.
water them every day. I mean, because I'm outside every day, so it's not a big deal. It's just when I'm on vacation.
I don't even feed my fish every day.
I don't feed my fish every day, but I will water outdoors every day. I don't have a problem with it.
This one I moved to 40. You can see the 40 is over there on the right now.
Okay. So this is
And
this
what I,
year.
yeah, the start of it, it keeps changing. Every time I say, oh, I can do that. Oh, let me try
Mhm.
this. Because this year I added bogs. Never had those last year.
Bogs are
And I moved,
fun.
they are. And I moved that pond. I took that statue thing and I used part of it and set it in that 100 so that I could actually use it to plant plants in. And, the water does splash out and some of it splashes back in the tub instead of just losing it because it wouldn't take but 2 or 3 days and it would be empty
Hmm.
because it would just, evaporate out. But the tub you're seeing now is the one with the lotus in it now.
Okay.
That's the 100 gallon right
So
there. And then what's
Yeah,
the other one next
I
to
have,
it?
yeah, they're both hundreds and then a 40.
Cool.
so you probably have like coin leaves out of that lotus. Like it's
Oh, yeah,
probably
I've got like 8 of them now. I've actually got some
yeah.
pads too. Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
have I mean they're shoots, but I don't have any coin leaves out of that one yet. It's been a cold spring here.
so now you can see it. This is this year's.
So Carlos
This
asked, does
last
anyone know if koi will eat water lilies or its pads? They will. However, if your pond is big enough, they might leave it alone. So my friend who made my pond, he has his own koi pond, and it was too crowded and they would eat every single water lily, every single one, just munch it down to the base. But we helped him expand his pond, and I think it's still too small personally. But they're now leaving water lilies alone. So it kind of depends. I mean, koi are a lot like goldfish in that they all have their own personalities. And I can't say, but I would not count on being able to grow water lilies, lotuses, or any plant with koi because they're murderers. They'll eat anything.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. And other people say their koi don't touch anything, and then other people say I can't keep anything with the koi.
It really depends, but I would say keep your pond very lightly stocked and make sure it's big enough. You need a minimum of 1,000 gallons for one koi. So
Yikes.
keep that in mind. Like
wow.
everyone's like, "Oh, I can have koi. I've got a stock tank." No, that's not big enough.
Big enough.
They poop a lot. Yeah, they poop a lot. They get huge. They get fat. They grow really, really big. And you need a minimum. Some people even say 1,500 gallons. So just consider that. Maybe koi are for you. Maybe they're not. Like koi are not for me.
Get
Yeah.
the lady down
Goldfish are
there.
a better option. Goldfish will leave your water lilies alone.
They don't get as big.
Yep.
And this is how it looks like. I think I took these pictures yesterday.
It looks pretty good. You've got a lot of growth.
Yeah. I just enjoy see all the
There's
things
the
coming out.
lotus. It's really so. Did you repot it this year? Or did you just move it?
Now I just moved the whole pot from the
Yeah.
40.
What's in your in the pond basket?
I have a creeping Jenny and some moss.
Yeah, I was wondering what was in down in there.
Yeah, and some
Mhm.
rocks to hold it, you know.
Yeah. So,
I've
Didi, I was going to say that I don't think that I have come to think that lotuses don't need to be divided every year. So I think maybe next year I'll divide mine, but I didn't divide any lotus this year. I think they I don't think it's a good idea. Maybe even a couple years. So it looks good though. Looks good.
but you
Renee
know what's so
says,
weird? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I would just say, Renee says, I feel like I'm being judged. I think that was about the koi.
Oh,
I think it's just a matter of how much work are you going to put into keeping that koi in whatever water volume you've got.
Yeah, and Sandy Doty points out something good. Shabunkins are better than koi for ponds and have beautiful colors. I would agree. I have goldfish in a pond and they're beautiful and they don't eat any plants and they're just as hardy and they're colorful and I really like them. So Tommy asks, are you of the impression understanding of having a 4 foot deep pond for insulation value? Or are you a seasonal tubber? Then thinking of digging one out. I need koi in my life. So I have a permanent wooden structure that is raised. And I keep my goldfish year round in it. I also have tubs, some I dismantle and some I keep up year round and I just drop a heater in. 4 feet deep is probably good for koi. They need to be sufficiently wide too. I mean,
Mhm.
koi need a big pond.
I've seen
They,
some
I mean, a
massive,
koi
massive
will
koi.
be huge. They'll get to be like baseball bat size.
Hmm.
And people don't always consider that. I mean, you can always get rid of your koi when they get that big. People will pay for them, but it's just something to consider. They live a long time and they get huge. I will never have koi, but many people really love them. They're not.
Uh, I'll never say never. I definitely not this house for sure.
I
We don't
think
have
I'll
space.
say never. I don't think I even want any more goldfish unless, like somebody wants me to adopt a goldfish. I am
Annette?
I'm yeah, I'm more into the Medaka and I really like those shiners and they're native too, which I think is really cool.
Yeah. So Rico, I guess his mountain minnows didn't make it through the winter, so
oh
he's going to
no.
get some rice fish himself in
Rice
about a
fish
month.
are a great choice for a pond. I've really loved mine. My Miyuki, platinum Miyuki are really cool. They're
Mhm.
very hardy. So yeah, and Coreworks points out koi almost need protein skimmers, foam fractionators for a lot of their setups. So I really recommend a bog filter. It's cheap, it's beautiful, and it's the most effective pond filtration. That's what my friend has for his pond. It works so well. The bigger your bog, the better. And you make it with pea gravel, use an ordinary pump. I I recommend it for all large ponds. So
Now I may have plants in my bog that maybe shouldn't be bogged, but I guess I'll find out.
I have tried so many things, and it's so surprising how many of them will work in a bog. I mean, some things don't, like Nicotiana, which is tobacco flower, doesn't work. Lobelia arinus, which is the kind of common blue lobelia you get like at the garden center.
Hmm.
It's really pretty blue. Doesn't pond well. Other lobelias do. So, but all kinds of things do. Begonias do well, and um, I mean, I've tried all kinds of things that surprisingly will pond well. So you never know. It's just
But you
you
know,
gotta try it. I don't think like petunias would do well because they
you know
like
what was? I'm
drainage.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, go on.
What I found surprising was, I have these two creeping jennies that I bought,
Hmm.
but I
Mm.
also took a handful of bacopa out there.
Oh yeah,
They look a whole lot alike.
Um,
yeah. I don't know. I think that the
it
bacopa
depends
is
on
like
how
a
you're getting it.
juicier plant.
Juicier.
Yeah, it's like
Juicy.
got those juicy stems.
Yeah,
Those are
but
both great pond plants, though.
They both creep along, don't they, when they're outside?
They do. They
but
both creep
creeping Jenny will
along.
creep more. Bacopa will definitely stay lateral and kind of vertical. Creeping Jenny likes to droop down.
Yeah, mine drooped down though. My bacopa that I've grown. So yeah.
Now I have some bacopa growing out of that second tier on those, that little statue thing.
Mm.
And one time it got turned around so it was laying across the pebbles. And of course, it started all the little
Yep.
shoots and everything.
Yep.
But I swear the leaves look exactly like the creeping Jenny leaves next to it. And it's like I took them out of my tank and carried them out there. So it's like I know that's what they are.
Yeah. No, the
But it's
bacopas are great in ponds. They're great just as a spiller kind of, in arrangement. Yeah, they work really good. And you can find I usually buy those at garden centers rather than using ones out of my tank because they're already adapted to immersed life. Whereas the ones out of your tank, you kind of
You have to
gotta
wait for
adapt them
it.
slowly. Yeah,
Yeah, what
because
I
they
did, I
can
first let it
melt.
sit in that tray of water. I dug me
Yeah,
a little
that's
channel
good.
in the rocks and let it lay out there for a little
Yeah.
bit.
Otherwise, like especially you, the heat will just kill them. So
Yeah. Um, Something else I'm trying, and I've seen it's already started, is letting wisteria, water sprite or
Mhm.
wisteria, whichever one it is that I have. I'm letting it grow up and out,
hmm.
just
Yeah.
just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can try all kinds of things from your tank in your pond. You can grow swords. There's all kinds of things you can try.
Wow,
Would you
I
grow
didn't
a
realize you could do
sword?
swords.
Yeah, would you grow a sword out of a basket like Didi has hanging on the side there, or?
You could. I just wouldn't waste the space on it personally because there's so many prettier plants, but you could.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't want to grow anything really that doesn't flower because
Sword flower.
their flowers are boring.
They're not. Yeah, they're not pretty. Like, have you seen the video that it was either Tropic or Dennerley made about their plant facility where they're propagating all the plants, and you can see immersed Amazon swords. Those flowers aren't really pretty compared to the flowers you can see in Didi's picture right there, or in
Right.
other pond.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, they
for
have really
me, I'll be
good flowers.
excited by the boring flowers because I don't do anything like that outside anyway. So
I
I'll be
mean,
like, ooh, flowers.
I don't know, outside like it's got to flower a lot and it's got to
Mm.
look good because that's what the outside is for.
Yep.
That's
So,
like the.
And to make your Amazon happy, go ahead, Didi.
Go ahead, say what you're saying. I got to think of the name of the plant.
And for Amazon swords to do well outside, you actually want a little higher humidity because they're from an environment with really high humidity.
Mm.
yeah,
So
definitely.
We got the humidity for sure.
You
Oh,
sure
the
do.
hibiscus.
Yeah.
The
Hibiscus,
hibiscus.
hibiscus
that does
do
real
really good
well.
out there.
It does. I grew one of those last year and it did do really well. There's a variety called hibiscus like moschino or moschiensis or something. It's like swamp hibiscus that does well, but I found all hibiscus does pretty well, and that's very pretty.
Now,
That's
what I use
very
to make
pretty.
my bog is just a concrete mixer, like from Lowe's.
Uh-huh.
And I bought a union so I can make me like a bulkhead in there and can, so the water could run back down. But
Nice.
that's all it was. And it really does, Stephen, it might be something for you to really consider um, for yours this year, since yours is, it just gives you more water and more
Yeah.
cleaning.
So tell me again what you did.
I just took a concrete mixer from Lowe's, the little black tray in the back with the bog right there.
Yep.
And I bought a union adapter from Lowe's.
And so that hose or that pipe down there at the bottom you drilled in, or
Yeah, I drilled it and
okay.
put that in, and just my hose is just over the top of the bin.
Nice. So, and I have found with my bog, and it's dramatic the difference. So last year I tried just having the pump bring water up and just kind of having like a hose, just letting the water drain out. And all other years I've had this little DIY spray bar made from a piece of PVC.
Hmm.
And the PVC spray bar, you get like 20 times more growth of your plants. Like it
Oh,
makes
really?
More
such a
flow.
difference. Yeah, it makes such a difference. Now the problem is is it becomes a victim of its own success and it clogs. And then once
Yes.
it clogs, the water will spill over the side. So what we're going to do this year is we're going to keep the spray bar, but we're going to have a joint so we can unscrew it and then clean it out. But it's such a it's so dramatic. Like last year's bog sucked.
Because
Well,
of
now,
the fog.
Did we
on
get
the
his
pond,
question
go ahead.
answered about all hibiscus are marginals, right?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I mean, they all seem to work. You can buy ones in the pond section if you have a pond section of your garden center. It's hibiscus moschino or moschiensis. Let me look that up. That's one that's specifically marketed that way, but you can find those. They're just annual hibiscus.
The ones I got are just annuals, straight
Yeah,
out of the garden centers.
yeah.
Lowe's, Walmart, wherever.
Yeah. So hibiscus moschutos, Moscheutos. And that's an annual hibiscus. You can find it at the garden center. It's no big deal at all. They have it at Lowe's, they have it at Home Depot, and that one will grow immersed very, very easily. And it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. Maraschino mariachi.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
thank you, Myrtle. Thank you, Myrtle. I don't have YouTube open, so thank you.
yeah, I'm missing. Jenna's getting on to me because I'm missing
Oh yeah,
YouTube member milestones. So let's check that out. I forgot. Where we go? Oinky, what are your opinions on Saint Emos or fire swords? Saint Emos fire swords. What?
St. Elmo's fire sword?
Oh, I don't even know I don't even know what that
St.
is.
Elmo's fire is Northern Lights.
Okay, she just forgot the L. And
L.
I'm just like
I have never heard of it, so I have no opinion.
emo sword.
It's probably
It's
Elmo's
probably
sword.
one of,
Elmo's
it's
sword.
probably one of a red sword that just has a commercial name put to it.
Probably. I don't know. It depends on how big it gets. I mean, so far, my favorite Amazon sword is Hate Eye Pearl because it's very, very tiny compared to other swords, which is a very attractive thing in a sword, in my opinion.
Yeah, being tiny and not taking over the whole freaking tank.
Right. But if you want something to get big, so St. Elmo's fire, I don't know, it's a sword.
It's sword-like.
So that one is grown immersed. You can tell by the leaves which both swords are. So it will probably die back. That's fine. That's what it will do. I don't know. You'll have to just.
Does the second image show how it looks like underwater, Stephen? Or is it just another?
No.
Oh, it's just another one of those. Okay. Because very likely that's what it looks like underwater. Longer.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be longer pinnate leaves and.
My guess is it's going to look like a lot of swords, and it's probably going to get kind of big.
QC Alcoholic says emo swords prefer very low light and black substrate.
That was pretty
For a second, I thought he was actually like giving like proper information about the plant, and then I looked at it. He also spelled it wrong.
You got a blast Fallout Boy next to it.
Yep.
Oh God. So Coralworks says hibiscus and alders all grow right next to the stream near me. Alders are nitrogen fixers too. I learned recently they'll grow with no substrate. I don't know that I would grow alders in my pond. They would get huge.
They get big, yeah. Like
I wouldn't do that, but hibiscus is a great choice. It's beautiful flowers. You can find them at the garden center.
And so we don't know what that plant is.
It's a mystery.
No, I'd have to go pull the tag out of. I can't remember them, so I leave the tags planted.
And we
I'm not sure what it is. And
this is from last year.
Yeah, and we don't always have the same plants, so I don't always recognize things that you get in your garden centers because it's a lot colder here.
Now I do know. See, I've got canna lilies out there.
A good choice.
Of course, the hibiscus. I even put a Mexican heather in there this year.
Oh, nice. We
So
don't really
I
get
plant
those
it
in the
kind of
garden
high,
centers
but
here. Yeah, we don't get those in the garden centers here. It's too cold.
yeah. Now mine survived. I had several that survived even over the winter, even though they're annuals.
Hmm.
All of them didn't, but every once in a while you get lucky, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I did a Mexican petunia one year, which is like Ruellia is the scientific name. That did really well. That's it was sold in the pond section of my garden center.
Oh, cool.
So
So Coro says, I wouldn't want any nitrogen fixers in my bog or pond. Defeats the purpose of putting a plant in the filter, right? I want them to eat the fish waste, not pull it from the atmosphere.
I mean, so things that fix nitrogen are anything in the legume family, which there are some really cool things in the legume family that might do well in a pond. So, for instance, I have thought about growing lupins in my pond, which are a beautiful plant that has really pretty blue and white flowers. Um, I don't know. There's just so many other plants like in the pond that they would probably suck it up too. I don't really worry about nitrates that much in my pond. I have so low stocking compared to how many plants I have that I don't worry about it. I wouldn't want to plant all nitrogen fixers in a pond, but if you had one, I wouldn't worry about it. I just wouldn't plant an alder because they would get huge. And also, like, alders don't really flower.
So this term nitrogen fixer is new to me.
Okay, so
Yeah.
nitrogen fixers are anything from the legume family, and they have a symbiotic relationship with a bacterium in their roots that will pull nitrogen gas from the atmosphere. And the thing about nitrogen gas, so just like oxygen exists as O2, right? So nitrogen exists as N2. And that is linked by a triple bond. And it's really, really hard to break triple bonds, and not many things can, but this special bacteria can. And because of this symbiotic relationship, these plants that are in the legume family, so beans, peas, things like that, locust trees, anything with that pod that looks like a bean pod, they can live in more poor environments that don't have nitrogen in them because they have a way of getting their own. Other plants can't do that. So it's only things from the legume family. So it's called nitrogen fixation. And it's the bacteria actually that are doing it. So that's why farmers up here, they rotate crops between corn and beans
Mm-hmm.
because the corn really depletes the soil of nitrogen, but the
These will
beans
add the nitrogen back with
fix
their
it.
their
Yeah.
activation.
And so like Jake does a full rotation at his farm, which means every other year it's corn, beans, and that is pretty typical in the Midwest.
Cool. Legumes are the
Matt has a question.
so
Liquid
restless
Zoo
in the
does.
plant world. Yeah, Kelly, how long will this box be okay?
Matt,
Box.
what box?
Uh,
Did you send me a picture?
yeah, I
of a
thought
box?
maybe you had better context than I did because I
I
don't.
don't know what you're
Oh,
talking
is
about.
it? Did
Is
you
it the,
send that some lilies?
I
Some water
did
lilies?
send you water lilies. Just take the bag and put it in your fridge. And you've got a couple weeks. Also, Matt, you would know the answer to that if you read the guide that I wrote. And there will be a quiz over that because I wrote a 6-page guide with pictures and formatting.
It was a good guide.
Thank you.
I could have fixed some typos for you, but that's okay.
Well, you weren't around to edit it.
That's just
A
my every
professional
time
writer.
when I read anything,
No.
the typos just jump out in my face to mock me.
That's why I have people edit my stuff
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
You can
it is.
never edit your own stuff. That's why if you want to self-publish a book, which I don't really recommend to anyone, but if you ever do, you still need someone to edit it.
Oh
'Cause
yeah.
Mhm.
you can't edit your own work. It just doesn't work.
You'll
Nope.
never see your mistakes. It's
Nope, you
near
won't.
You're
impossible.
blind to it. Yeah,
You won't.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Everything I write gets edited by at least 2 other people.
Well,
Sometimes 6 or 7.
so you said put it in the fridge, or you can just put it in some water.
Yeah, you can also throw it in a bucket. I usually just throw things in the fridge. But you can also throw it in a bucket, and you can put that bucket outside. I wouldn't keep that bucket outside too long, though, because mosquitoes.
Mhm.
True.
Yeah.
Wait, so he got his already? You sent them out Saturday, right?
I did, but like I know that Nancy B got hers too. I mean,
What?
some people. Well, I mean, Nancy's pretty close to me, so that's why she got
And if
hers
you
soon.
use USPS, if you send them through priority, like people close around you are in the 1 day range, like 1 to 2 day range. Today's Monday, so
Right.
That's true.
So some people
very
get.
little of the country is in 3 days, or most of the country.
Yeah. So like people in California, I sent one to California. That's gonna take 3 days. I tried to give those people styrofoam.
Let's see. Rico, a 16-month member set milestone chat. Same with Zinger. And Geek Boy has also been throwing away money for 16 months.
Geek
Yeah,
Boy
don't
says
you just love
read.
it?
Geek Boy says read. Matt Kelly, always optimistic.
Yeah, that's still that professor in you thinks that we're going to read.
I mean, there will be a quiz. Myrtle's, because that was Myrtle's idea that we would have a quiz. So,
Well,
Hey,
there
y'all,
should
did
be.
y'all notice that blue bucket in the ponds earlier? That plastic bucket?
what's the
I saw
bucket?
it flash. Well, what it is, it's nothing but a dollar store plastic little bucket with handles. I drilled holes in the bottom of it, and I used that for my dry sump
You
last
are
year
so clever. I would never
because
do
you
that.
know I didn't have the
Crafty.
bogs yet, but
Now you
that
have your
works too if
bog.
you don't want to do a bog. And it was so easy to clean that pad, instead of so much easier.
So, what I've thought about doing for a bog filter is getting a ceramic planter, like a planter jar, an attractive one from Lowe's, and then putting a PVC pipe up through it that's been drilled a bunch, and then fitting a gasket around it so it's watertight, and having that pipe go up through it, fill it with gravel, and then plant stuff on that. And then the water would like cascade over the ceramic pot and look really pretty. I've thought about doing that. I mean, maybe one year Jake and I will do it. I don't operate cordless drills. That's not a thing I do. So it would be me telling him to do it, which he would do
Just hold
it.
it, keep it
Yeah.
vertical and horizontal, whichever way you're doing it. Yep.
I know, but he would do it. I
And
just don't
Myrtle
tell him to do it.
says, did you subscribe to Didi? Yes, I'm talking to you.
That's right.
Really, everybody here is.
Everyone here should be subscribed to Didi because she is the best.
Yep. And if you
Yeah, I
aren't,
won't
what
quit
have
aggravating you till you do.
We have, this is a new name I'm not familiar with. Gary Chodorow
Hi, Gary. Welcome.
has a question.
So, Creeping Jenny, how should I plant in my indoor pond? Right now, it's off to the side, but has leaves trailing into the pond. So, Creeping Jenny will actually grow underwater. It doesn't grow, and it kind of depends on like how much it needs a lot of light to grow well underwater. It can need CO2 if you want it all the way underwater, but mine ends up growing in the water all the time, and it does okay outside. I try to usually plant it though sort of marginally so it's got wet feet, but it can grow out, and I let it either spill off the side or trail along the bog. It does well that way. So that's how I grow it. It's a pretty vigorous grower. Once it starts, it doesn't stop. And for me, it survives the winter.
Nice.
So it's kind of invasive almost.
Yeah. I was wondering which of my aquarium plants I should bring outside just to kind of get things going, aside from the lily.
I mean, it depends what you want to do out there. It's nice to have some bacopa
I have no
because
idea what I want to do out there. Just I want to get something started, basically, and once I get it started and figure out how it's all working for me, just start switching stuff around. But
I would go to your garden center and buy some things that are colorful, like cannas, hibiscus, cardinal flower, because those are super colorful and they're going to bloom and do well. And you don't have a ton of space. So,
No,
because that water lily is going to take up the whole pond.
right. But I just
So,
and then things like the pond basket stuff. Like so for a hibiscus, how am I planting that?
you can do it in a pond basket. I've done it that way.
Let's get some gravel.
Yep. Just get some gravel. Just plain old cheap pea gravel from Lowe's. Is that what you use, Didi?
Yep.
Yep.
Sweet. Thank
Now,
you for the $2 super chat, Austin. He's saying no Monday.
You're in Colorado. We'll have a good time. So Silver Creek asks, so creeping Jenny, not a good idea in jars or bowl terrariums. Yeah, it'll do really well. It's just you're going to be like ripping
Trim
it
that
back a lot.
down.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because it's pretty vigorous, but it is really pretty. And if you're willing to do that maintenance, it is really pretty.
now
So-
last year, what I did, I used ceramic pots, which are heavy on their own, and then by the time you fill them with pea gravel, that was a lot of weight. Of course, I didn't have bogs, but I wanted plants, with pretty flowers. So I made me a stand out of PVC pipe that went underneath the water level, and that's why all those plants were sitting on top in those ceramic things. But it's like I kept wondering, when is it going to crack from the weight? When's it going to crack from the? It
Yeah.
never did, but I used it for a while.
I have done in the past. In my big pond, I'll have an upturned laundry basket. And then I've put ceramic pots that are decorative on top of it. So they'll kind of poke out of the water a little bit and look pretty. And then I've filled them with gravel and I've planted papyrus in them. That works.
Now I
So-
also have some egg crates in there too, but milk crates.
Oh yeah,
but,
milk crates work better than laundry baskets because they're sturdier. But
they just
I think I
weren't
did
tall
this-
enough.
yeah, I think I did this when I had no money and I had a laundry basket.
Oh,
Yeah,
I had Jenna
I mean-
get me a laundry basket yesterday at the store.
As long as it's a sturdy one, it's fine. And it has to be shorter than your pond.
Yeah, it's about half the height.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect.
I still need to find a feed tray, and before I guess I'll just order it from Amazon.
That's what I do. I mean, because I really like the thing that I linked. Those I have them right here.
What kind of tray, Stephen?
Is a feed tray, like 17 inches by 17 inch.
Gotcha.
Yeah, this is what I use for my water lilies and my lotuses. For a big lotus, you can also use an oil pan. That
We
works.
used to have those for horses.
Yep, they're just feed pans, and you can get them from like Rural King or something like that. But you can also just order
Garden
'em.
supply,
They're like,
tractor garden.
yeah, they're the same price. But I really like those because they're shallow, and that cuts down on the weight a little bit. Because a 5-gallon bucket that's full of wet, heavy dirt, it gets kind of heavy for me, and I like to be able to move them myself. So
The one downside that I see to these black ponds is you can't see your fish. Only from the top view.
Mhm.
depends on the
So-
fish. It
So you have to
depends
buy
on-
fish that have the bright color or like bright light color on the top.
Well, and a lot of them will hide from you when you come over because your shadow touches.
Yeah.
They're scared.
Yeah,
But I have goldfish in one of them, and I have red
Sure.
mountain minnows in the other, and I have those gambushas, which you don't stand a chance on seeing them in there. But until they grab food, then you can see them darting around with food in their mouth. But that's the only thing I don't like about that. That's why I have fish in it, but I don't worry about keeping a lot of stock because half of them you can't see.
yeah.
So I just keep enough in there that I feel like I got enough to have a reason to go out and feed them, and they
I
do
don't
their
even
little
feed
poopy
them.
thing.
I don't even.
I do
feed
in the
them.
beginning.
Yeah, I
and
maybe do
after-
a couple of times in the beginning, but once the
Yeah.
mosquitoes get going, they've got a job to do.
That's what these all of them are for, because it's like we
That's
noticed a
great.
definite difference in the mosquito attacks last year.
Yeah, it's and I also don't really worry about what fish I keep out there because I'm never gonna see them. Once that water lily gets going,
Yeah,
it covers the surface 100%, which is a good thing because it shades the fish and it keeps algae down. And like water lilies are awesome. So, and Scotty asked, could you paint the inside a different color, white or light blue? Maybe you could, but I like to have my pots just disappear against the bottom of
Mhm.
the pond. Like I don't want to see them.
Yeah, true.
And once your water lilies get going,
It
you're
won't
not
matter
gonna
what
see
color the
anything.
lining of the
Yeah,
pond is.
you're not
It's
going
the
to
color.
see anything, and that's why I just paint them black so I don't notice anything. Lady
Mhm.
Thanks,
Diane
Rhoda.
uses white pool sand in her pond so she can see into the stock pond. I don't put any substrate in the bottom of my pond because that way they're easier to take down. But you can do it if you want. I just have everything in pots. Scotty, this is not applicable to your indoor aquarium.
Just say
Now
no to
I
pot.
didn't break mine down last year, but I'm going to break them down at the end of this year, I think.
Yeah. I mean, some I keep up and some I tear down. It just and I mean, I'm looking at buying a house soon, so I'll tear all of them down. So I
Oh,
want
nice.
it to be as easy as possible. Plus, my motivation in October is low when it's cold. I want it to be as easy as possible to put the ponds to bed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
'Cause it
Mhm.
gets cold, and I always wait until like minutes before frost is predicted because I want to enjoy it as long as I can,
You have such a short period of
right?
summer.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
very
I mean, and in mid-October it's done. So
Stephen, I
yeah.
see a name I don't recognize. It's Jay's Aquatics. Do you know
Jay's
them?
Aquatic X. That's a new name for me
Oh,
too. Welcome.
Hi Jay, welcome. We're so
welcome.
glad you're here. Wow, so many new people. This is exciting. You're
Cool.
here
We
for
should have Didi
Didi.
over every week.
Yeah. Did you bring these people in, Didi?
Well, now I don't know if I did or not, but I was in a stream, Bob Moss's stream actually,
Hmm.
and somebody was asking about plants, and I put this, your Wet Your Plant episode series in
All
there.
Ah,
right.
sweet. Thank you.
So I don't know where they came from, but you know,
I would follow you anywhere.
maybe, maybe.
And
It's just like, hey,
Eduardo is here. Maybe
yeah,
Eduardo.
he
Eduardo.
made it.
Oh, Scotty says, "Can you buy me a house too? I will name it after you." I
The
just
Foreman
don't
house.
think this.
The House of Kelly.
I don't think that like it's worth it to have something named after me. I mean, you're
So
looking for a rich
if I
wife,
discover a
and
new stem plant, I'm definitely naming it Kelly Foreman Eye or something.
you should. But I know that Scotty is looking for a rich wife, and I don't think I'm rich enough to be your wife. Like, you'd still have to have a damn job if we were married, Scotty. Like,
Scotty's probably pretty high maintenance too.
I think so. I mean, listen, like Scotty, I don't want a man who like I'm married to him and like he doesn't have a job and like all he does is go to fish club meetings. Like, what's in it for me?
At the very least, Scotty would have to do your water changes for you.
Mhm.
And Scotty doesn't do
Thank you,
water
Lady
changes.
Diane.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so I don't really think there's a future for us as a couple. Also, I am like 10 inches taller than you.
Well, you'd probably be perfect for him then.
I mean, I'm like 2 inches taller than Jake.
He probably don't care how smart you are.
He probably doesn't.
Everything he needs is right there.
I know,
But,
but like, yeah, I just don't see a future for us, Scotty. I'm sorry.
all these little garden things are stuff I've had probably 20 years at least.
Ah,
So nothing's new. Let me go snatch that out of here. Let me go snatch that out of there.
yeah, and it's
So,
amazing that things will work in ponds. I try new things every year, and even things that aren't sold as pond plants will work. Like I'm doing swamp milkweed this year. Apparently, it'll work. It has
Oh.
swamp in the name.
Scotty
I'm
says
right.
he'll get a part-time job for you, Kelly.
There you go.
Wow, thanks. Wow.
He's also president of his club. Don't you like a man with power?
I mean,
Yeah.
See?
Scotty knows people.
I think I'd like a man better who like isn't like at fish club meetings all week long. I mean,
So I relate to what Zinger's saying. It's like after the
Yeah.
hellish summer, October is. I embrace October.
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
I am
we
most active
have a
like as soon as summer's over,
I mean,
or
we
like
have a
very dead
different
middle of winter.
we have a different climate here. Summer is pretty nice. I mean, days in the low 80s, a little humid, but not like oppressive humid. Our summers are pretty nice. We will have occasional, like a week of really hot weather or 2 weeks, but I mean, summers are usually really nice here. So, and then fall, sometimes it's nice, but then the clouds come in and it kind of sucks. So,
I'm okay with September. After that, I get depressed because it's like, oh no, the cold's coming. I
I
hate cold
know.
weather. I don't like it hot either.
And Didi,
But
it's not even that cold there.
but I would like it to stay between 60 and 75 all the time.
Yeah, that would be nice.
60
That
at
would
Yes,
night,
be
Didi.
75 in the day.
You and I would be perfect in like we would have the same air conditioning. Like,
Yeah.
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 it's today it's 62, which is not bad, but it's a little cloudy and glum out. But our weather right now it's just warmed up a little bit. It hit 79, I think, yesterday, so it was a little warm, but this is good weather for us. So finally.
See, Stephen lives in the land of the perfect place to write romance novels about the sweltering heat and the blistering sun and all this stuff.
Steven, where's your romance novel? Like,
It would have to have some kind of weird supernatural swamp ghost element to it as well.
Well, she could
Everything
fall in
based
love
in
with that.
Louisiana is either about a murder or a haunting. So
it's true. I mean, we went to that haunted mansion.
exactly.
That was ridiculous. I want to read the Stephen romance novel. How is a character of yours going to have romance? I mean, I guess it will just be over AOL.
There you go.
Because that's the tried and true formula for Stephen.
That's how I got to know Jenna. I mean, we went to the same school, but we chatted on Instant Messenger.
It's a tried and true formula. It's
That's the millennial way.
He likes Scooby Doo meets Fabio.
Sounds
You
romantic.
shouldn't waste Fabio on Scooby Doo.
So Matt says there's nothing nice about low 80s. It's a little less humid here, Matt. I mean, I've lived in Iowa. I know that is the worst climate in America. I understand that. It's not quite, it's just a little more moderate here. Not politically, but climatically, it is a little more moderate because we have lake effect. So.
Oh, and do you know where else I learned some stuff that maybe y'all didn't teach me? That pond book from Ted Coletti.
That book is pretty good. I recommend it to everyone. Maybe a nice mod can put a link up for the book by Ted Coletti. There's a new edition of it out.
What is this? What is a Rougarou romance novel?
What?
I don't know. That's what
Jenna,
Jenna said.
please.
I'm gonna write.
I don't know what a Rougarou romance novel is. I don't read a lot of romance novels.
Neither does Jenna, which is why I'm confused.
I don't even know the term. I'm amazed that she knows the term.
I read like literary fiction, historical fiction. I read some fantasy fiction. All right.
There's nothing like a Rosemary Rogers.
So tell me what to buy. Canna Cleopatra.
So cannas are nice. And you can grow them year round. I have to either dig them up or treat them as annuals.
When you say dig them up, where are we planting them now?
What?
Like, when you say dig them up, are we like where would I plant them? Or is it a basket thing? Or
basket. You can also just plant them in your yard. You can also just get them for free from your ditches.
I ain't never seen nothing like this in my ditch.
Yeah, so that one. So I've grown African sunset before. The foliage is really beautiful. The flowers are also nice. It's a little less vigorous than other cannas, but it's kind of nice to mix them.
I've got one of those this year.
And by the way,
KJE.
It's good to buy from KJE. It's fine, but you can also buy those locally. Because cannas
don't
are
have a lot to choose from.
Pretty common in every garden center, like even Home Depot.
Usually around here, you can find the reds. That's it.
Oh, we
You
have
make
red,
it look and find
yellows.
a yellow.
Yeah, we
I'm
have
not
red,
sure which
yellows,
of these.
pinks, oranges. I mean, there's tons of cannas. I will say that garden center cannas, like 80% of them work well. And I don't think that African sunset works that well in a pond, honestly.
We'll see. 'Cause
It just isn't quite vigorous enough.
What about
That was-
iris?
That is a beautiful plant that's perennial. It only blooms in the early summer. It is beautiful though.
mine grew so big last year in that water. I had them in a pot
Yeah.
with the rocks.
And by the way, Black Magic Tarot, there's way cooler varieties of alocasias than Black Magic, in my opinion. Because they're ones that'll grow like 6 or 7 feet tall. Those are much more fun. Black
I got
Magic.
me one of those this year too.
Yeah, I did. I like coffee cups. That's a fun one. And you can just get those at the garden center. They're in the terrestrial plants. They're alocasias. You don't
We
need
don't
to
have
order
a
them.
garden center here with terrestrial section. That's it.
You can go to Lowe's. or
Lowe's don't
Home
have it.
Depot. Really? I mean, because my
The
Lowe's.
only things that Lowe's have are those little things in a cup. You buy the plastic cup and it has this pod in there, a seed. That's it. That's it for ours.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, we have tons of those.
I can
Aquatic
certainly get
mint?
mint.
You know, you can grow any mint will
Yeah.
grow in a pond. I have chocolate mint in my pond, so you can grow any mint you want to grow.
Ooh, does it taste like Andes?
It has like a very faint chocolate odor. It's really great in a mixed drink.
Sweet.
I had some of the terrestrial mint. Don't
Oh,
plant it in your yard.
Don't plant it in your yard, but it's good to
No.
compact it. Because
I mean,
It
it's
does
unres-
smell minty. You don't want to plant it in the yard.
Corkscrew rushes, I brought one of those yesterday. They have them at every garden center, like at Lowe's, they'll have them.
Jealous.
Bloody dock is a nice plant.
Bloody
I
what?
got one of those this year.
Oh,
Bloody
dock.
dock.
Not, there's no I there. No. So that one is fun because it's edible. It's like a salad green and it tastes pretty good. And I have grown that one and it's pretty good. It's a pretty little plant. It grows in a nice little compact rosette. It's nice. I bought that one locally before because I have a small pond section. Creeping
I
Jenny.
wonder
you
if
can find it
Lowe's
every garden
down by
center in
Pulsatera
America.
has more. I'm sorry.
Latero might. He has a lot of stuff. Creeping Jenny, you can find it any garden center in America. It'll be with the annuals.
Yeah. Chameleon.
That is one I have never tried, and that one will only be in the pond plant. It is pond section. It is very pretty. I have never grown it though.
Water sprite. Yeah, I'm sure that will do fantastic in a pond.
I don't
It
know
looks
why you
cool
would
coming
grow
out
it.
of the water. It really
Yeah.
does. Mine's
I'm
only
not
about an inch out.
I'm not growing water sprite. I haven't
It'll-
grown water sprite in my life.
It will fill up the entire capacity of the pond.
Yep, and above too. It gets much thicker of a bush than water wisteria will. So if you want to do either of those, do water wisteria because it doesn't branch out as much as
Yeah.
water
So
sprite.
Blue Hawaii is a nice variety. That one, it doesn't get super tall though. I like the alocasias that get giant. I think they're more fun, but they do well. And again, like you can find those at Lowe's or Home Depot. They'll be in the regular garden center section. There's lots of, they're called alocasias, ALOCASIAS. And the nice thing about buying those is like you get a plant that's already going. So
I forgot to plant a elephant ear in there this year.
yeah, you got to get one of those. Soteros are also known as elephant ears.
But maybe I'll put them in one of those front ponds.
I always do them every year. I really like them. Blue Hawaii, Mojito, there's just tons of varieties. But like I said, every garden center will have those too. Pickerel weed is a nice plant, and it does bloom year round. It's perennial. That's a nice one to order from KJE, I would say, because that one might be hard for you to find locally.
I found one from him, a blue pickle.
Yeah, Stephen, water hyacinth. I would recommend you not grow water hyacinth because you have enough. Because like if like an animal steals a piece of it and puts it in a ditch, like you have enough problems with that in your climate. Like I just wouldn't like Keith should not ship that to Louisiana.
Mhm.
Should be illegal to ship to Louisiana. So I wouldn't grow that one. I have never grown limnobium before. Isn't that like giant duckweed?
You're calling an
Yes.
American sponge plant.
No,
Oh, so just
not that one's different. Limnobeam is something else, I believe.
let's see.
I don't know that
That
one.
one's different. That's much different. It's
We're
But
just
just
I
woods
but I
and
wouldn't recommend that
Spirodella is
one.
giant duckweed.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that one to you, Stephen, because you won't have room. The
no.
water lily is going to take up the whole. You should concentrate on marginals. Pickerel is really nice. Cannas are really nice. I grow
If you
cannas
want something
everywhere.
with spiky texture, Eliocaris, it's a hair grass. It's what's it called? Eliocaris palestris, I think, is the regular spike rush. But if you want to use an aquarium Eliocaris as well, some of them will grow nice and tall and tall.
Viviparous.
Oh,
Heliocaris
Viviparous, yeah,
viviparous. Yeah.
this that well. Uh,
Yeah, that's an option. There's one called Mondo grass you can do.
mhm.
Papyrus is really good. So papyrus you can just buy from the garden center. There's King Tut. There are cultivars called King Tut, Prince Tut, and Baby Tut. King Tut gets so big. I think
Isn't it
Prince
like
Tut,
8 feet tall or something at least?
yeah, it's so big. Even Prince Tut is pretty big. Baby Tut is pretty manageable. But I would do either Prince or Baby. King Tut is huge, and they just have that at the garden center. It's like $4 a pot. It's pretty. It's really cool. I do it every year. It might be perennial for you, Stephen. It's an annual
So
for me.
yeah.
Mondo grass.
Mondo grass. That's
Yeah, Greg said water hyacinth is in every body of water in
yeah,
Louisiana.
that's true. I mean, yes, but I just wouldn't add to the problem.
Nah.
I had one
There's other
last year. It was
things you can
pretty.
grow.
And then
It is pretty. I grow it, but again, the frost kills it, so I don't. You know,
we can get parrot's feather
that's
here.
a plant that I don't think should be sold because that is choking up every waterway. I mean, like in Wisconsin, the lakes are so choked up with parrot's feather. Like, I just don't think it should be sold. And
And
I
it's
don't think
hard. It's
there's a
such a hardy plant. It'll grow basically anywhere. Like there is no place where
right.
frost matters or anything or
I mean,
freeze.
it's in Wisconsin, it's choking up the lakes. So, like,
Wow.
Wow.
yeah,
It'll keep going under the ice. Like if ice forms, it'll keep growing underneath. And
it'll just keep going. It's so invasive. They call it milfoil because it's Myriophyllum. What's the species, Myrtle? It's not Matogrossense. It's Myriophyllum aquaticum. Myriophyllum
Okay.
aquaticum. Horribly invasive.
Wow.
So that's why, and also you don't need it. I mean, like everyone's like, oh, you need it for an oxygenator for your pond. No, you don't.
Well, I got a pump
There you go.
to do pump things.
Yeah, and your fish will be fine.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I
That's
have I
what
have a
mean.
little
Fish. Go ahead, Didi.
I have a little mini pump in the bottom of that 3-tiered thing,
Yeah.
and it pumps up to the top, and then
Oh, yeah.
but I
goes
only
down.
set it to run like 4 times a day because water does splash a lot, and so the little plants that are up in that very top tier, they only get what water stays in there. So I don't know if they'll make it over the hot part once it gets really hot,
Yeah.
but it
Yeah.
does help more, aeration, I guess, because got to have some because
Yeah, I
it's
like
so
to-
stifling in those tubs.
Yeah, I like to have a little bit of a pump. I mean, very gentle burbling in a tub. You don't want it to be too vigorous because one, it'll splash the water lily, which won't like it. And two, if there's wind, it can blow
evaporation.
a
Yeah.
stream of water out of your pond. It can drain your pond.
Now I
So
just use power heads, even though I have some of those big
that
pond
works.
pumps. I use
That
those for
works.
refill, but power head was enough.
Yeah, that works good too. Yeah. Pond pumps are really cheap though. That's why.
Yeah, for less than
Um,
$20.
yeah. And I've even bought those at like Lowe's or Home Depot.
Well, I ordered a pump finally, since like no one was helping me pick an exact one, and there's a million of them, and so when there's that many choices, my brain freezes up, and I research for hours and hours and
Oh
hours, and
God.
I got
I just
nowhere.
go
So
for
I
the
ordered
cheapest one that can do the amount that you want, and it
Yeah,
generally
that
works.
one's
Like
probably
pumps are
good.
generally reliable.
How many gallons per hour is it?
850.
Oh boy. Might need to turn that down.
I
Yeah,
don't think
that's a
it can be turned down.
Well,
Damn
you
it!
find
Some of them
if you
do.
want
They
to
have
make
that.
permanent damage to the pump, find the impeller and shave it off. That'll reduce the gallons per hour, but it'll mean that you can increase it ever again.
you
Just
know what I would do is just not have the extender on it very high. So it
Just
just kind of burbles at the surface,
well,
but doesn't.
that was the plan anyway. Is just to have like
Yeah.
just stick this on the bottom and
Yeah, I mean,
not.
because you can put a different height of extender on it. It usually comes with some.
Mhm.
I mean, I have my pump driving my spitting frog in my one tub, which I really like because I've always wanted a spitting frog. It was a dream of mine. So yeah, that one will be a little vigorous, but as long as you don't have it spitting up too high, it'll be okay. I mean, a pump's a pump. It'll be fine.
Oh Lord, Brookley.
Oh my goodness, what are you gonna do with all those babies? Ah!
Uh,
Ah!
Don't want this, Brookley. You think you want it, but you don't.
What are you gonna do with
good
all
luck
those
getting rid of them
babies?
because
There's
angelfish, rams, um, convict cichlids, those are
oh
the
God.
three hardest fish to get rid of once you have them breeding.
rams.
Oscar, some rams, like in my area, sometimes it's really hard to get rid of rams.
Really?
Yeah,
Hmm.
especially
Yeah.
if they're just a plain German blues. Like if they're really popping blue German blue rams,
Yeah,
then
that's
they'll go
true.
through.
They
But
look
like
really
if they're
good.
just regular German blue rams that you find in Petco's and PetSmarts, then you good luck getting them.
You know what I
So
don't understand is why people just lose their mind for Dean's Midnight Black Rams. They're just black cichlids. Like,
Some
why?
people like cichlids.
But they're so drab compared to like some of the
if
other
you have a
rams.
tank that doesn't have a black background, I guess you probably. I like to paint black backgrounds, but
Yeah. Yep. Sell them to Dan. That's a good point. Just
Yeah,
ship them back.
of the 200 that she'll raise up,
oh,
Jenna
she'll
might
probably
take.
raise up every single one of them, and
Yeah,
I'm
Oh,
pretty sure
good.
there's more
Jenna
than
might
200
take
big.
5 of them. That'll put a small dent in it.
Oh, so Jenna
Where
wants
will you guys put the 5 angelfish?
angels for her
In the 55.
in her ghost knife tank. Well, that'll
Hmm.
look really pretty.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would want 300 of them.
No.
Yeah.
Kelly, would flocks work okay in one of these bogs?
So I don't know. It depends on the flock. So my guess is like regular garden flocks, the kind of tall. I would think
Yeah.
no, because it's very prone to mildew. And
Okay.
so I think it likes to be drained pretty well. There might be a woodland flock. Woodland flocks might do okay, but in general, I sort of feel like no. I could be
Okay.
wrong though. I'm surprised all the time about pond plants.
I'm gonna try one because I've got a whole
Give it a
mess
shot.
of them,
Yeah,
and
give it a
you have
shot.
to water them a lot, but
You
they do
do.
mildew.
Yeah, you do, but they're so prone to that powdery mildew. But give it a
Yeah.
shot. Like if you've got extras of them, give it a go.
And I also have I'm not sure what it's called, but it smells the prettiest. Somebody said it was a Hawaiian lily. The person that gave me a little piece of it.
Hmm.
It has a white bloom, and when you it smells like gardenia does, kind of,
Oh.
very
I
very.
wonder if it's in the ginger family. There's a
It looks like a
Hawaiian ginger.
ginger
Yeah,
plant.
because I have grown both turmeric, which has beautiful flowers, and I have also grown ginger roots, like just from the grocery store ginger root. And
Yeah,
the
I've heard of that.
flowers are okay, but the cool thing about it is like you can propagate a ton of ginger root that way. And I use a lot of ginger root when I cook. So I might throw some of that in the bog this year and then harvest all my ginger roots in the fall.
I wouldn't mind growing
Um,
some herbs for the
So
pond.
some herbs will do okay, some won't, because most Mediterranean herbs like to be dry. I mean, they're from a Mediterranean climate, so things like thyme and rosemary, basil, maybe it'll do okay. My guess is not super great as it would
It's still
outside,
proper
planted in
drainage.
your
Those
yard.
types of things are proper drainage.
Yeah. Um, but ginger root does well. So it's just
I
that
had
the Mediterranean herbs, they're from Mediterranean climates where it's so dry.
Mm.
that
So
red ginger jar I had floating and up on that little PVC stand last year. When I emptied the rocks out of it this year, I had roots like this long from whatever herb I had in the top little thing. Because I didn't do anything with them but let them grow. I just
yeah.
got
Right.
busy.
Lettuces would probably do pretty well. But the thing is, once it gets really, really hot, lettuces bolt, which means they send up a
They
flower
send
and
little pods.
inflorescence, and then they're bitter and disgusting. Lettuces are
Same thing
more
goes
of
for Brussels sprouts and anything in the
yeah,
mustard family.
they're like a spring fall
Brussels.
crop, or well, for you a winter crop, I guess, because your seasons are different than mine. So lettuces are not a great choice.
Sweet potatoes
I
you
have
can do.
Sweet
on those.
potatoes you could do, yeah. Sweet potatoes, the vine looks really cool. You're not going to get like a lot of like tubers to eat, but if you just stick a sweet potato in your pond, which I have done before, the vines are really cool.
Brooklyn's been
Gosh,
trying to get me to take home sweet potato vines. Like every time I go over to her house, she's like, "Look, I had to trim this 4 times. It's in the cabinets, it's taking over everything."
I mean, honestly though, there's just way better things to plant. You don't have that much room, so
I
no.
know. I got to be choosy, so
You got to be choosy.
you
That's
got to
why
make my shopping list for me.
for
that's
me,
why
like,
there will be a second tub next year. I can guarantee it. If you like this one, you'll have a second one next year because there's
You
not
know,
enough room.
technically, I already have a second tub because I'm not throwing the Gambusia tub away. Why?
so Jenna
But you'll get
asked.
another
Anyway,
big one.
So Jenna asks, would swan columbine grow well in the pond? Do you mean swamp columbine? It's supposed to grow really well in Louisiana. We have a lot of different. We don't have that species of columbine here. We have other columbines. My guess is if it will grow well in Louisiana, it will probably grow well in a pond because it's so swampy there. If it has swamp in the name, it will probably grow well.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean you could try it. Those bloom are they're done blooming for the year. So you wouldn't get to enjoy flowers from them this year. Those tend to bloom pretty early in the spring. So for instance, ours are blooming right now.
Mm.
Columbines. They're all early bloomers.
No, actually,
Oh, is it
let me.
swan?
Yeah, she just shared the
Columbine.
Oh,
LSU Ag Center link. So,
yeah, we don't have that one. Oh, well, we have other columbines that look similar to that. I
we're
don't
going.
know. I don't know. You could try it, but it's done blooming for the year.
Oh, that's pretty.
Oh, I I think that swan columbines, that's just a marketing name. Those are
Probably.
just and that's a cool season annual.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not. It's done blooming. So
mid to
I
late
don't know.
fall for spring bloom. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I would plant it because, like, right now in this climate, they're blooming right now. For you guys, they bloomed long ago. So I would. I mean, I think those are better in a yard. Honestly, they're more of a woodland flower,
Cool.
columbines. So, but if you see things that grow well in your ditches, they'll grow well in ponds, like cannas. I mean, they're not native to where you live, but they're everywhere.
Of course, I noticed Ted just had plain old cattails.
Cattails, you want to get the mini kind because
You
regular
know,
cattails can be like 6 feet and like super like they'll just bust out of your pond. Yeah, but there's a mini cattail that's really cute, and you can find those, like you can order those from pond places. I've thought about growing those, but I don't know. There's only so much space.
Now,
Uh,
also the Fish Fan Link giveaway aquarium. What's his name? Aquarium.
So Columbine is the state flower of Colorado. When I was blooming, there were tons of them in the mountains blooming when I was there last year. Yep, and Lady Diane concurs. It is the state flower, and that's a slightly different species, I think. But they're all Aquilegia for the genus, and they're spring bloomers. If you're in the mountains, though, spring comes a lot later because of the altitude. So,
Yeah, I think Atlantic Aquariums also had pond plants too.
well,
Um,
I really like to order from Lily Ponds or Tricker because those are like pond specialists. They cultivate pond plants on site. They're not just like reselling them. I mean, and they kind of have more pond expertise. So I like to order from there.
yeah,
So
I just need a shopping list. You or Brookley, because Brookley knows what's in the ditches too. Because every like when I'm driving with her, we'll stop at an intersection or something. She'll look out the window and stare at the ditch just to see what's there.
This
so
is
in
kind of like me.
3DS,
Like I just see a tank, you can grow in a fish tank. Like if you see a body of water,
Mhm. Yeah,
yeah, I mean if it's growing in the ditch, it'll probably do well in your pond.
for me, when I see a body of water, I just wonder what fish are in there.
I wonder what type of stem plant has found its way in there. Like when I was in California, like in that
Mm.
area, even when I was in Washington for like a couple of years, I wasn't living there, but I was traveling there. So just going there, it's very interesting to see how many native Ludwigias there are, or like Bacopas that have found
Oh
their way,
yeah, that's
Salsicarias,
true. Those are native.
uh,
Yeah.
or plants. I think there's only two species in the aquarium hobby, but it looks very cool when it's grown above the water.
Yeah, they're cool plants. So Renee says pandan plants, which and Asian vegetables grow well in ponds if not illegal in your state. So pandan plants are not perennial in my climate, so they're not usually grown here. But pandan is a flavoring. It has like a bright green color, so it makes like Asian sweets very, very green, and it's kind of vanilla-y. Like pandan scented cakes are really tasty,
Nice.
and they're very, very bright green. But I have
hmm.
never grown that. So, and 3GS cannas are good pond species. Yes, they are. Now, I will say, I have grown cannas every year I've had a pond. Usually, I just buy whatever the garden center has. Usually, they grow really, really well. Sometimes a particular cultivar doesn't do as well as it might in a pond. So, those stripy orange ones, the African sunset, those didn't do as well. Um, But there are cultivars of cannas, so like Lily Ponds has them that are specifically high selected for pond life, and those are kind of guaranteed. But honestly, I usually just kind of buy what my garden center has and give it a shot. And like 80% of the time, they are pretty good.
But how
So
about calla lilies?
calla lilies, I did callas last year, and the bog did not do well last year because I don't know, because it didn't have that spray bar. However, they're marketed as pond plants and they will do well. And Steven, you'll
Oh,
have those at your garden centers.
Yeah.
Callas. And they come in colors too, not just the white. They come in pinks and yellows and they're pretty, and those will be perennial where you live. So they're nice. So Lady Diane says canna in the pond or beside. It'll grow as a marginal, Lady Diane. So you'll need to pot it in either a basket, or I kind of grow it like I do my water lilies, but it needs to be the water level is even with the top, or the gravel is even with the top of the pond. You can also plant those just in your yard. My dad plants hundreds of cannas every year and digs them up in the fall. I don't know why. There's so many other things that he could
Why
plant
does he dig them up?
because the cold will kill them here.
Oh.
It's Iowa.
Mm.
Nothing.
Yeah,
Those
I don't. I
not,
probably won't do the whole like digging up plants at the end of the season.
you
Not
won't
too
have to.
much.
You don't have to take
Yeah,
your pond down at all.
good because I'm not.
Yeah, you don't have to. Your climate is pretty warm. You have the occasional frost. But if you keep like the pond going or the pump going or just drop it in air stone,
Yeah,
probably it won't even freeze over because you're not going to get. So for me, like I start getting things frozen over below about 15 degrees and it just doesn't get so
and
cold there.
yeah, we went down. So we went down maybe in the high teens, like maybe 19-ish this winter. And the tub that has no water movement at all had a layer of ice on top of it, but the fish still survived.
Yeah. I mean, you want to have a hole for gas exchange. That's all you need. So mine will mostly ice up and then I use a stock tank heater because it's cold here. So Eduardo just yelled at me, Lady Di, I had them as a side mirror. They really add color and that flash. There you go. You can also plant them
That's how I
on the
read all
front.
of Eduardo's comments. Just
Yeah,
like yell in my.
I don't know why
Yeah,
you
they
need
do
to
make
yell that,
a good
Eduardo.
backdrop. If you want to
And
give you a good backdrop.
they're super easy to grow. But here they're either annuals or you have to dig them up and you can save them in your basement. So Renee says tropical milkweed grows well in water. So Renee,
were you
where
talking
I
about
live,
that on Discord a little bit?
so that's not a tropical milkweed. So
Oh,
I recommend that people only grow milkweeds that are native to their climate because the monarch butterflies rely on them for food and they need to be eating ones that they are evolved to eat in that particular area or it can screw up their life cycle. So only plant milkweeds that are native to where you live. So for me, we have many species of milkweeds that are native. So this swamp milkweed is one I can grow. There's also a butterfly milkweed. Those are all good. But there's a tropical milkweed that you can grow as an annual, but for me, that's not a good choice. Stephen, there are milkweeds native to where you live. I don't know what they are. Those might do well. I don't know.
is that the one that's gonna mess up my eye?
Well,
And your hands. Yeah, if it's that, yes,
are you gonna take it and you're gonna go like that with it? I mean,
I touch my face all the time.
I really wouldn't worry about it. I have grown milkweeds for years. I have done like field studies in prairies with biology classes.
You
Sorry,
covered your face so it doesn't recognize
I
your face now.
know it
Yeah,
doesn't recognize
you
my
just gotta
face.
put your palm up to it for a bit, and then it'll refocus
It's the day Kyle's birthday.
or not. Yes,
Yay, happy birthday, Kyle. So Lady
Kyle.
Diane says,
I-
nice Renee, thanks. I have an acre of swamp milkweed for Gen 5 monarchs. That's awesome. That's an awesome thing to do. Such good food for them. And they're pretty. So I'm growing one of those this year, but they are native in where I live. So that's why they're a good choice.
Happy birthday, Jime.
my right hand was one letter over on the
Yeah.
keyboard, so I just,
Who is this guy? But it is his birthday, so
It is.
Myrtle, you're out of control with your modding from panel. You're out
well,
of
I just had
control.
to, I had to say happy birthday to Kyle,
Yeah.
Well, I guess.
Huh.
and then he says,
Yeah.
New sticks. That's cool. But the ponds do give you a lot of enjoyment because
You.
with the fish tanks, it's a lot of work involved too. But the ponds, once you get them going, you got rainwater that keeps coming in there, and you
need
don't
to
have
feed it
to
either
do a
because you've got
whole
so
lot
many
more work.
insects and all that stuff.
I have to
Yes.
top up sometimes, especially with my big pond because it has that waterfall. So I do have to top that one off. I don't even use dechlorinator.
Well, whatever it takes to get me outside.
We got to do what we got to do.
If we have any rain, I don't have to. But
Yeah.
if we don't have rain, I will have to go out there and,
Yeah, top off.
I put that orange barrel you saw. I put water in that, dechlorinate it, and then I pump that into
Oh,
the
that's good.
ponds.
I don't even dechlorinate mine because we use chlorine, not chloramine, and it's so little that I can't even test it. And I'm like, those fish outside need to just deal, and they do. Now inside with my precious, precious
Oh no,
rainbows.
never.
You're adding at least the
The
amount of
precious,
regular.
your favorite children.
I know I use dechlorinator, but outside those goldfish gotta just deal, and they do. They're fine. So yeah, so I do have to sometimes top up, but otherwise, and like every couple weeks I fertilize the water lilies. That's it, and then I have to tear it down in the fall because it's cold. So
Oh yeah, you did say you're not sending fertilizer, and so I have to order that too, don't
yeah,
I?
sorry, I knocked the bag of it over.
That's the so I
Hopefully
should
not
just
into a
order the
pond.
pond
Yeah,
tabs, huh?
yeah, just get the pond tabs, but I'm using the Landon this year also, and because Ted's like, oh, you got to use the Landon, it's so good. And I figured, well, why not?
Is that on Amazon?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and any brand of pond tabs is fine, is because they all have the middle number is higher, so that's phosphorus. So high phosphorus, this is just general fertilizer 101 for anyone who wants to know. A higher middle number is phosphorus, so it's NPK. It promotes blooming. So it also promotes,
Oh,
yeah, so
Oh,
it would also promote like fruit formation. So, like your tomatoes, if you get tomato fertilizer, you want them to flower a lot and hence fruit a lot. And so you want lots of phosphorus in them too. If you use something that's like a 10-10-10, so it's even amounts of the three nutrients, you're going to get a lot of foliage, but not as lot of flowers. And our aquarium fertilizers are, they're not to promote flowering, they're to promote leaf formation. So they have more nitrates in them. That's why you want to use pond fertilizer. So, and those pond tabs are pretty convenient.
why am I
they
not
are.
finding Landon with? Oh, okay. I think they're not even calling them pond tabs, are they? They're just
I have links in that guide that I wrote, that I exhaustively wrote and put
for the
links in.
fertilizer. Well, I
Yeah,
didn't get
I
that.
did.
I,
Oh
I
my
just I
god.
got to the part where you said no fertilizer for you, and I had to go to
You yourself
Amazon.
didn't read it. How are you going to quiz everyone here?
I mean, there's a quiz, Steven. You need to read
Crap.
it. I have links to all the fertilizers so that you can buy.
What you should have done, Kelly, is you should have added a QR code to like a video of you reading over the whole thing, or like an audiobook version of your article, just so that Stephen and all the other people like at least listen to that.
Yep. Then I can
No, I
multitask.
already spoon fed it to you with a guide. And
You can
I even gave you a
AI
little
clone your voice.
I even gave you a little labeled steak so you can put it inside your pot and label it.
Okay, that's
Oh,
smart.
Now
Yeah.
these
I thought
thrive,
Thrive.
the pond
Oh
tab.
yeah,
so,
yeah.
but it's 10, 14, 8, which
Yep, middle
I
number.
didn't know that's meant anything, that
Now
I
you
could understand,
know.
but now I know why.
Now you know the middle number
And
is
it has the pretty
higher.
flower, so
I know. Yeah, they do work. And the Landon is like I think 10-20 something. So
Yeah, I see two types actually: 10, 14, 8, and 12, 28
lots of flowers.
of the Landon fan tabs.
I got the
Fan
20.
tabs.
I got the 20. But I mean, they'll work. They'll work fine. You just want more of the middle number.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to overthink it too much. Just get the stuff marketed for ponds and it'll work. And then when I pot them up, I add a lot of fertilizer to the pot for water lilies. And then after they start blooming, or I mean, like a month later, then every other week I put in one tab.
Okay.
Yeah, but for lotuses, Didi, it's different. You don't want to fertilize until you get aerial leaves. So they send out those coin leaves first.
Hmm.
If you fertilize at that point, you won't get any flowers. So you have to wait till they send the aerial leaves above the water line.
And I've got like 8 or 9 of them up above the water.
Oh, well, then you can fertilize. Yeah, you can.
But,
You can put
yeah, I
it.
fertilized after I saw those, but
That's good.
it seemed
Yeah.
like I remembered you saying don't do it until you see
Yeah.
those.
And then I add like 4 pond tabs to those. And then
I put
every other
3 or
week
4
I
mine.
add like, yeah, because they are super heavy feeders. Because they get huge, those lotuses. But lilies, yeah, I put in like 4 pond tabs to start. And then after a month, I add a pond tab every other week. And then I quit in like late September, early October because for me, they have to go dormant. For you, you could just keep going. Because
Oh, am I just not ready for a lotus yet? Is it too advanced for me?
you're ready, but I didn't send any this year because I didn't divide my lotuses this year. You're ready. I mean, if you want to get a lotus, you can.
Well,
You
a lotus and a lily in the same pond, is it going to be?
you can. I do lotuses and lilies in the same pond. Next year, when I divide them, I'll give you lotuses. I'm just not. I just didn't divide them this year because I don't feel like they need to. I think it's better for them not to be divided every year. Whereas water lilies, with the exception of the tiny version, Helvula, that cultivar, they have to be divided every year. I also, this year, I got one of those viviparous water lilies that are the tropical annuals.
Was that the one where they made by the lily pad? Those are cool.
I know. So for me, I can store one of those if I were to bring it in the house. But I'm going to give you one of those, Stephen, because you might be able to keep it year round because you live in a warmer climate than I do. But for me, it's just an annual. It's just something to try. And it's got like purple flowers, like purple. So I decided to try it.
Have y'all ever tried this muck reducer tablets?
That's absurd.
It's like a
That's
bacteria
basically a collide. I wouldn't use it. It's basically like the stuff that it's marketed in fish tanks to clear up your water. I think it's the same gimmick as that, but for a pond.
Yeah.
You don't really need that.
And you're not going to have muck in your, because you don't have a koi pond. The thing about koi is they do nothing but poop.
Yeah.
And disturb the poop in the water, so everything that's already been gets
Right.
picked up into the water.
I mean, you can reduce your muck by being a good aquarist and not overstocking.
Being a what now? Come on.
Good aquarist. I know. And well, the other thing is to really, for me, like to reduce muck, I cover my ponds that I keep up year round with a net in the fall. And that keeps the
Wait, so you get a net to fly over from Washington just
Yeah,
to
she
cover
comes
up
over
your
and gives my ponds a big hug.
I need
Look
to
out
buy
there and
that.
see a net spread eagle. And
she's like, "Get out of here, leaves! Get out! Get out! We don't want any leaves in this pond." Yeah.
Yeah, she's going.
It's a service she provides. It's a service she provides. I mean, she's like,
Well,
"Oh,
you got to stop the snails from leaving the pond too.
True.
It's
I think that's what she's
snails.
mainly trying to do.
It's
She's mainly
true.
trying to
My
protect the
movie
snails.
snail shirt on today.
Oh, yay!
Nice.
I do have snails in my pond. I've never put them there, and yet they're there.
I got ram's horns in that Gambusia muck tub.
And I've never put
I
them.
put them out there.
Yeah, mine just showed up. I never put them there, but there they are. So, but I'm pro snail. So
Me too.
yeah, I'm team snail.
Protect all the snails.
I have
Hashtag
lots of
I.
snails.
Well, I mean, Jake's Facebook group is Pond Snail Protectors.
Well, ever since I got the puffer, I have been super protective of all the snails.
Yeah,
Puffer.
I bet you have.
If you join Pond Snail Protectors and you ask a question, how can I convult? How can I cultivate pond snails for my puffer? Permaban. You're out. You're out.
Yeah, that's a very trolly question.
You're out. You're out. That's right.
Also, it's really easy to propagate pond snails. You don't need to ask. Like, yes, just a lot of food.
Yeah.
Just put 2 pond snails in a fish tank and then just let them eat all the pollen.
And then,
I
lots
actually,
of calcium, high pH.
Lady Rorschach, she really wanted ram's horse snails, and I'm like, all right, I'll send you some. So just sent her a clump of Java fern that just coincidentally had 100 ram's horse snails on it. So,
Benjamin said he has a mystery fish in his pond already.
oh, I wonder if like a
Small,
parent
clear, and
dropped
guppy
it
like.
in.
If it's small, clear, and guppy like, it's probably just gambusia. Depending on where you are, I don't know where you
Yeah,
are.
They can
because
come down in the rain, can't they?
where I live, there are no gambusia. It's too cold. So, but probably some predatory bird dropped it, and that's why I'm really leaning. Like someday, I would like to have a big in-ground pond, and I think I might just put native fish in it because goldfish can leak out into the waterways.
Yeah.
So Kyle is asking how he can propagate snails for his puffer, but since it's his birthday, I'm not going to be a bitch to him.
There's your
But
birthday
What I
present,
can do is
Kyle.
I can
tomorrow
how
it
we can
won't
propagate
be his
snails to
birthday.
sleep.
Tomorrow
You
it
can
will not be his birthday.
Answer him seriously. Maybe Kyle really is considering getting into aquariums and he wants a puffer.
I mean, you can just have a tank, put a snail in it, put some food in it, and you will have
any and all plant trimmings you have, and
one.
just throw them in, decaying leaves, just toss that in. Don't want to eat something off your plate, just dump that into the tank. The snails will deal with it for you.
Right. Throw in your maybe not your broccoli. Steven says that will make your house smell like farts, which
It
Bex
does.
is not
And
gonna
if,
Bex is not gonna want that.
No.
She's not gonna want that. That's not a thing she wants.
We don't have to feed nutritious food to the snails. I mean, you can, we help to gut load them, but you don't have to go overboard with fresh vegetables, just veggie tabs.
You could give them vegetables you don't like. You could put your kale in there.
Yeah, there you go.
or like if you don't like your boiled carrot for the day, just scrape it off the plate, put it into the fish tank.
You're not supposed to do carrots, right? Because those will foul up your water too
I
fast.
didn't know that. See, there's
They
a
give
lot.
them too much sugar too, right?
I know they're very sweet.
Carrots are
So-
supposed to be like a occasional treat type thing, and then you gotta like really quickly
And like
take
very
them out.
small amounts. Yeah, you take like
That's why they say
1
dangle a
centimeter cube
carrot.
is
It's just a
definitely
treat.
enough for like a 20-gallon.
Yeah.
Now, you think I could put my giant Danios in a pond?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Are they
They'd be
cold
cool out
hardy?
there. That reflectiveness, you know,
I
the
think
way
you
they
could.
move.
I mean,
You just
people
want
breed
to
all
be
kinds of
completely
things
covered
outside.
with lily pads and all, because giant Danios are quite boisterous and they like to jump.
Oh,
right? So
are they? Yeah.
True.
You
Did
could
y'all
put
see the
it-
latest Dan's Fish video, Dan's Fish tour, where he showed those turquoise
Yeah.
guppies, and he was like,
Those
"They make
were
great."
sure pretty. Those made me think about guppies, but then I'm like, no. Because I want
see,
things that can
those look like the guppies that I have in my tank. Well, I leave the blue ones because I have blue and orange ones. I'm trying to get rid of them, but I know the lines aren't. I know the lines aren't pure, so I can't like do anything with them. So I'm just letting them fizzle out
Right.
automatically.
You need to give yours to children, to unsuspecting
I
children.
have given guppies to people, like kids in the area before, like when I would go out to club events and all, but
Yeah.
it's too much work.
It is a lot of work, guppies.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm not going to have guppies, because I want things that will live year round. So, but Nancy is going to give me some shiners. I'm very excited about that. I am going to put my rads outside because I want to see if they'll finally color up, because they never have in like 2 years. And I
Your
just
what?
want to see if they do anything. Wow. Annette says, Kelly, get rid of your rainbows and get guppies. Has anybody ever in the history of aquariums decided, I'm tired of these mature, beautiful, bespoke rainbows. I think I'm going to get some fucking guppies.
I mean, Zen might. She might say as soon as the guppy, not the guppies, as soon as the rainbows get that hump going, she's gonna start looking for other fish to keep.
Well, you know what? Annette and Zen can just bond over how much they hate rainbow fish.
I guess they can. I mean,
And we can all be team rainbow.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I mean, I'm the admin for Rainbow Fish Live. If I were to say, like, I'm going to get rid of these and just get guppies, I think I would be kicked out.
That's probably a prerequisite to being an admin, is having rainbow fish there. So CP
says,
has 8 acres.
Oh my goodness, 8
That is
acres.
huge.
So you know what you should grow is a plant called Victoria.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That is a dream of mine. It's the plant that has like 10-foot wide pads.
Just put one in the
Flowers.
center and then just
Wow.
watch it take over the whole 8-acre pond, just like
You
spread
can like
across. Yeah.
put your baby in the center of the pad and it will just float. It's a great thing to
A
do with
skinny
your
adult, a skinny young adult can also sit
skinny
on a lily.
doll. Mm.
You don't need just a baby.
Maybe
You
you
can,
could put a Scotty in the middle of it. He's a small
Yeah.
individual, or a Jenna, or a Brooklyn, but probably not a Kelly. That's
And
right
just
next. We are team anti-live bearers. That's
Yes.
right.
for anyone who hadn't seen what these
Victoria. It's
freaking lily pads
amazing.
look like,
And the flowers are enormous. They're beautiful. They have
Oh
this
my
at
gosh.
Missouri Botanical Gardens for all my friends who live near St. Louis. This is a dream of mine to someday grow this plant. And you can get it from Lily Ponds. It's like $100, but it'll fill your entire plant and it'll fill your heart with joy. I mean,
That
And it's
is
fun to
just a
see
plant right there.
these lily pads with spikes on them to get rid of any competing plant when they're
yeah, but
opening
you
it. It's
can,
very fascinating
yeah,
how they.
but you can still grow them with regular water lilies, and you can still grow them with lotuses. So you can see a lotus is right there in that picture because they had that at Missouri, and they had regular regular water lilies and regular
What
lotus.
is the purple flower there?
That's a water lily. That's a tropical water lily, maybe a viviparous one. And I got one of those. I'm so excited. I know. So Scotty says, who wouldn't want a Scotty floating in their pond? I mean, I would. So, and Annette is bothered by my neckline. Probably she doesn't like my bra strap showing. There we go. Is that
So if
better?
I make
Annette?
life look
I don't know.
better,
I think the problem is like this is kind of a baggy tank top and this is kind of a baggy cardigan. So I just don't know if I can make you happy.
That kind of looks like a waterbed for Scotty.
it
I
does, yeah.
mean, it's pretty cool.
here's a
So
picture.
Lily Diane says those lily ponds are so awesome. Chihuly is back. So Chihuly is a glass.
That
lily.
is so
He's
cool.
back this year, and there are floating balls in the lily ponds, so glass balls. It is the most awesome place. I went there once when I was visiting a friend. I spent an entire day there. Missouri Botanical Gardens is amazing. It's so awesome. Yeah. So if you have a pond that big, you owe it,
Oh.
and it gets a good amount of sun. You see, so look, you can put your kid out there. That could be Scotty. You could put Scotty there. You could put your Jenna, your Brooklyn, but your Kelly, probably not. Or your Steven, no.
Or your alligator.
Oh, Lady Diane says love
Wow.
our
People
botanical
in Florida.
garden. Yeah.
That is
So
great.
that's a bucket list pond for me. I mean, one of these days I'm just gonna hire someone with a backhoe and start digging up Jake's farm, and he'll be like,
Just flood your
sorry,
neighbor, just flood your
I don't
neighbor's
know.
flood your
know what
neighbor's yard.
happened, Jake.
So, yeah, Craig said look for an underside picture. Here's what it looks
I
like on
know,
the bottom.
so cool. So Victoria Amazonica. There's another species too.
Wow.
There's either
that
two
looks
or three total Victoria species.
Yeah, and there are different cultivars of it. Some are more pink, some are more white. The flowers are awesome. I love that plant. It is
This
a
kid
bucket.
laying directly on it. It
Yeah,
looks
it's
like
not so prickly on top,
nice.
but you can see like because they don't have like a piece of plastic on there, the weight isn't spread as well.
Yeah.
So that's why the kid's sinking
You
a
see
little
there's
bit.
a little bit, where you see the circle indentation.
That's
the
still
plant's
pretty
probably-
amazing.
That could be your Scotty right there. Just have your Scotty floating there. I like this idea very much.
Ritesh says, how big of a pond do you need to grow them?
Pretty big. Pretty
Something-
big. Pretty big. Like I would say like I'm gonna say at least 20 foot by 20 foot.
Because think of it this way, that's just one lily pad, and each
Yeah.
Victoria will make it 6 or 7, 8, 9 at least.
I mean,
So
there are
you
some
want-
that are a little smaller than others. You can buy them from Lily Ponds has them for sale. One plant is $100. However, you just need one. And they're annuals because here in this climate they're not going to survive. and they'll only propagate by seed. So you kind of just want to buy a plant.
Hmm.
But that's a bucket list plant for me.
Hey, Tim.
They're so cool. And so you can see they have those with regular water lilies in there too. But so cool. So cool. So that's what, if you have a really big plant, it's a thing you could do. So Benjamin says, Myrtle, sorry to be nosy, but do you sleep? I saw you on late last night, and I assume you had class today. You must rest, dear sir. That's
So
true,
I
Myrtle. You
sleep,
rest.
but I also don't sleep. So depending on the day, I might get a good 8 hours one day, but another day I'll be completely awake all night, writing music or nerding out on fish stuff or just watching TikToks or something. So yeah, it depends on the day. I either get sleep or I don't.
Well, and
Yeah,
you got to remember, Myrtle's young, so you can do anything.
You know, when I
exactly.
was your age, I would sleep like 10 hours every night.
I
Like,
would now.
the thing is like, the older you get, the harder it gets to sleep. So you've got to start out being a champion sleeper just so you can barely get by at my age.
Oh no, but the thing is, I also have trouble falling asleep is another thing. So, which is
Yeah,
why
that's
I
gonna
stay
get
up
worse.
right. Yeah.
That's gonna get worse as you get older.
Yeah, like on Bex's stream Saturday, I was talking about that. I used to be like Myrtle with my sleeping pattern.
Now
Like
you
I would
never
do
go
a few.
outside. I mean, your circadian rhythms are fucked up. You get no sunlight.
I went outside a lot more back then than I do
Yeah, you
now.
did, because you had to go to class.
Yeah,
You had to go to class. So now,
yeah,
like,
did a lot of fishing and stuff too. So
yeah. So now, like, since you're not getting any sunlight, there's nothing regulating your circadian rhythms. So I
nah,
can't sleep.
just drugs, just antihistamines at night. Is what.
Yeah, it doesn't give you very natural sleep though. It's not really
Nah.
great for your brain. But you're gonna have a pond, so you're gonna go outside. Baby steps.
Mhm.
Then you're gonna start doing yoga next year. I have a plan for your life, Stephen. I have a plan.
Oh Lord,
This
Kelly's
is
gonna have
Kelly's
another
slow
channel. Kelly
overtake of
teaches
Steven's brain. She's
yoga.
slowly
That's
gonna mold
right.
Steven
Well, and
into
Annette will do yoga with you. Like, she'll do yoga with you over StreamYard. Because she wants to encourage you.
just
And Scotty will do it too. I haven't told him this, but he'll do it.
Fantastic.
How do you tell the difference? Wow.
Ah,
I mean, it's your birthday, so like, what am I going to say to you? I mean,
You're gonna say that's brilliant.
yeah.
and it's probably true.
So Lady Diane says, I wish she would do a yoga channel. It would be like middle-aged, kind of dumpy-bodied women doing yoga. Because like the typical yoga channel is like, namaste. And it's like this ultra hot 22-year-old.
I bet people would feel more confident and comfortable having a like
That's
someone
it.
Just a regular
real
woman in her
real
40s.
yoga with real people.
I mean, Annette wants me to do yoga at the clash, which if people bring mats, I will teach them. I will lead practice. So,
Yeah, it's very intimidating to go in a class like that, and you're 35 years older than everybody, at least.
yeah, you know,
And you know,
yeah, I could see that. I'm really lucky. My yoga studio has lots of people, men and women of all ages. So yeah, you get your super hot 22-year-old girls who were like cheerleaders in college, and then you get people my mom's age. So it's a good mix. There's a guy, Mike. I do yoga with him. He is 75 and he's had a hip replacement. He still does it. I mean, he has to modify a lot because he's had a hip replacement, but he does it. So, and Beck says if you did yin, I join. I really don't like yin yoga. So yin is very, very slow yoga. It's very gentle, but I prefer more power yoga because I sit on my fat ass all day. I got to do something. So, Annette
that's
says,
the kind I need. Power yoga then.
I know, I got to move. Also,
It'll look like yin, yoga for me, but I'll
Yeah,
be trying to do the power yoga.
you got to modify. Everybody needs to modify.
Oh, I would be heavily modifying.
And that's okay because like it takes time for your hamstrings to get flexible enough and your hips and even then like everybody's body's different. It's totally okay. Yeah. So Tim says Kelly should change her Keystone Crash Talk to yoga positions you will do while creating YouTube video.
I bet there's a market for that.
Probably. I'm kind of not into just doing one pose though. I'm into doing like a whole flow.
Mhm.
The style of yoga I do is very much flowing from one pose to the next. You're not just hanging out in like Warrior 2 for 5 minutes. That sounds awful.
I don't know what that is, but it sounds awful sitting still for 5 minutes. So
well, I mean, you have to hold things for a while. I mean, you know, that's part of it. It's good for your brain, but yeah, and yin it requires you to hold Beck says requires you to hold poses for longer length as well, deep stretches. That's why I like it. I just don't like it. Also, I'm crazy flexible. I don't need it.
I need something like that. Just well, and then holding it for a long time. That sounds hard too. Yeah.
You don't hold it at your maximum. You hold it at like 80%.
Not you already talked me out of it. No yoga. Let me go outside first, and then I'll think about it.
Yeah, and you build a lot more flexibility actually with the power flow, anyways. But yin is very relaxing. It has its benefits.
Mhm.
I just need to move because I sit a lot. So Jenna says I could change my talk to yoga poses and stretches that will help you reach all the plants in your aquarium for maintenance. That's really important. Yeah. I mean,
Oh yeah.
things like
If you have a deep tank, step stools definitely help. Just get a step stool or a step ladder.
Yeah.
Yep.
And after a year of yoga with Kelly and Fat Kitty, you can now reach 6 inches longer and deeper into the tank.
Well, I always, Jake is always very upset because yoga seems to be making me taller because it improves your posture. He would prefer I not be taller because I'm already taller than him. And Jake's posture is fantastic. Like he can't improve it anymore. His posture is so good. But you know, for me, like I can improve that.
You know, I never thought I would need a step ladder for a tank, but this one behind me, when I'm standing,
it's pretty high up.
Eye level with me, so I can reach the top of it. I can feed the fish, but if I need to plant something at the substrate, I need to step ladder.
I have a lot of those like that.
Annette says, "Get Jake some heels." He always tries to buy like the tallest shoes he can, like these Merrill Martins.
Put Jake into like something that'll stretch him like a stretch Armstrong.
I know. I'm like,
Eventually,
and he'll like, I just try to hang from a bar for my workout. So Benjamin, I am 5'10". I'm not that tall, but I'm somewhat tall. But Jake is like 5'8", 5'8.5" maybe. So
y'all are both technically above average height for humans. I think 5'7" is average male height.
Wow.
Or maybe American male height. I have no idea how they do that.
Yeah, well, we have a big Latino population in America, and Latino men tend to be a little shorter. So, but I'm from a tall family. I'm the shortest one. So CP is a 6 foot lady. There you go. I mean, I wish I was even taller. I mean, there's only benefits to being taller. You can eat more. It's so great.
Driving sucks.
This is to a point, yeah.
Sitting in coach on a plane sucks.
Yeah, my ex-boyfriend was 6'5" and he had a very long torso, and it was really hard to find cars that he fit in. Also, he was a difficult human being, just in general. That was a very difficult relationship. So difficult.
Myrtle is tiny in person. Now, how do we know this?
Myrtle, how tall are you?
Yeah, how do you know that, Annette? I just said I agree with you because I am like 5'8" or something. But how do you know?
Maybe he's got a spy cam at your house.
I mean, you know, Myrtle, 100%. Whenever you go to the Clash, Annette will lift you. Like she will pick you up.
I think isn't Annette 5'10"? She's like my height, isn't she? Yeah. Annette, how tall is your husband? How tall is your husband? Is he tall? Are you gonna have super tall children?
Hmm.
My sister is taller than I am. She's 5'11". And then my mother, before Grandma Shrink hit her hard, was 5'11 and a half. Now my dad is 6'1" before Grandpa Shrink. And my brother is 6'4". So I'm the shortest one.
Wow.
Sad.
Also, with a long torso, it's you have to get the tall shirt.
I have a short torso. A pretty short torso. Small leg. I have to buy tall pants. Yeah, head clearance in some older houses can be an issue. Yes, very true. We were actually going to get this house together, this ex-boyfriend and I, and we decided not to because the frame of the bedroom door, he would have hit his head, and like he wasn't a very aware individual. And I know, like in the middle of the night, he would give himself a concussion.
I would bump my head on it every day.
Yeah, it just wasn't worth the risk. But that was a pretty great house.
When ceiling fans first came out, I lived in a single wide mobile home, and everybody wanted a ceiling fan, so we go and get one. Well, the ceilings are not high enough, and it was real easy. Like if you're putting on your robe, you stick your hand up there and get your hand smacked by the blade, as it's turning. And then they finally came out with the hugger fans, which put it a little bit closer to the ceiling, so it wasn't as bad. But somebody 6 foot tall could not walk without dodging the fans.
So we had growing up, we had like one of those 1970s chandeliers above our dining room table. And for some reason, I mean, my dad was the person who hung it there. It was right over his spot at the dining room table, and every single day he would stand up.
Oh yeah, that's insane.
Every single time. I'm like, Dad, you're the one who
just
put
move
it
the
there.
dining table.
Yeah.
Or you could sit elsewhere, or like, Dad, you were the one who hung that thing there because he built
Or
the house.
turn that table so somebody else has to sit there and take a turn.
I mean, there were so many options, but the only one he took was hitting his head every time.
So Josh is 6'2", and Annette is the shortest in her family, so we got nothing but tall genes with those kids.
Yeah, those are going to be some tall babies. My sister will also have tall babies, I think. Her kids are pretty young, a little older than your kids, but her husband is 6'1". I mean, his mother's like 5'11". So her mother-in-law. Yeah, tall families.
So Josh is 6'2", and I'm 6'2". That means I'm taller than Josh because I apparently underestimate my height because
I think that your posture is a little bit poor. I think that with some work, we could get you to 6'3".
Well, if I'm standing up, I'm taller than people who claim to be 6'2". So, or even people who claim to be 6'3".
I think that your posture with some yoga, we could get you to 6'3" or 4". Whereas Jake, like he topped out.
I do not want to be taller though.
Yeah, but your back would feel better, which there's benefit to that.
There definitely is. If you can start working on it, I advise work on it while you're younger and keep it tight.
Yeah, I had really bad back in my 30s, and now I have no back pain at all because of yoga. So, Lady Diane says both of her girls are taller than you at 5'9". You've got some tall girls. My goodness. So, but Benjamin says, I'm 6'1", and you seem very much taller than me.
Yeah, I met Benjamin at Aquafest.
Okay.
And everybody who meets me did not expect me to be as tall as I was.
I mean, I've met you.
Sitting down.
I don't know. I guess you were as tall as I expected you to be because I expected you to be tall. Does that make sense?
I guess so.
I mean, I dated that guy who was 6'5" for a while. So I kind of got used to a tall guy.
Plus, we have seen Steven in videos like at Aquafest and all that where he's standing amongst people. So you can see how much taller he is than most people.
Yeah.
Not as tall as Whip. Whip is very tall.
You'll see me standing next to Jenna most of the time. And then if I do a video with Brookley, she's not much taller than Jenna.
Very short. Very short. When I met Jenna, I mean, I knew she was going to be short, and then I'm like, oh my God, she's so short. Yeah, Jenna
Oh my
says
God.
everyone is also surprised that I am as short as I very publicly say I am. It is a little surprising just because you're very short. I mean, yeah.
Who are we talking about being tall? A lot of us.
Apparently everyone around here.
A few of us.
Everyone is tall.
Not me.
Yeah, you're not
Okay, well,
tall,
you
are
and I
you?
are not.
You're pretty short, Didi. So
Yeah, I'm like 5'4" on a good day. If I've been hanging upside down in my bat cave, overnight or something.
that's just average. That's the average height of a woman in the United States, I thought, right?
Jenna has a taller presence.
I would say that's true. She does. She is
Yeah.
because she was a teacher, so she has a sense of authority.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It carries over.
Yeah, I would say so.
Very
Once you get used to
adorable.
doing it.
Callie's. How tall do I look on camera? I don't know.
I don't
I've seen
know.
you on camera maybe a couple of times.
But you have to be around other people for
Right.
it to be put in better perspective.
I mean, and you weren't in the room with Drew, who is super tall.
Yeah.
Because I met him, I'm like, oh my, you are a large mammal. He is.
Oh yeah, I
he is
met
big.
Drew, and like that that's one of the few people in Fish Fam when I meet. I'm like, oh, okay, you're
He's a large mammal.
quite a
He's
bit
got huge
taller.
arms too. Yeah,
Mhm.
he's a big
So,
boy. Whip is
Who's
also
taller, Whip or Drew?
Drew.
Drew is. I
Wow.
think that's because Whip. I don't know if you're in chat. You might have a little grandpa
He's
shrink.
here.
A little bit. Hi, Whip. It was
Whip
good
is
to meet
taller
you.
than me, and
Whip
but
is very tall.
not quite like not a lot taller than me.
Tall
Whereas
dolphin. Just a tall mammal. There's lots of kinds of mammals. Yeah, he is tall. He is very tall. Because I hugged him and I'm like, okay, you are tall. So yeah. I can't think of anyone in Fish Fam who is taller than Drew or Whip.
It's funny too because we have a lot of military here, and there's lots of tall men running around. But the locals, there's not many tall local men that are here. Most of them's 5'6", 5'7". Most of them. Now my stepson, he's 6 foot something. I don't know what he is. I'm gonna say he's probably 6'2". But y'all saw him that day he came in when we were doing the terrariums.
Oh yeah, he's pretty tall.
It's when I hug him, my head is about equal to his boobies. I feel kind of weird.
we've lost so many people from the tall short talk, but that's okay because we're 3 minutes until Scotty.
I know. So Lady Diane wants to hug Whip one day. Pretty great hug. 5 stars, would recommend. So Genesis Alishon is pretty tall. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen Alishon on a stream, so I don't know. So Annette has to go wait for the kids and get ready to laugh at Scotty.
Yeah, Scotty's on in a couple of minutes.
Right, Scotty.
And also, and Metalheads are also on at the same time, so people drop their links.
That's right. But thank you, Didi. We love having you. We love seeing your ponds. This has been so much fun. You're always welcome to join us.
I love seeing the crafty shit Didi's up to.
He's clever. Didi is the opposite of me. I'm not clever at all.
Engineering going on.
DIY Didi.
Right. DIY Didi.
And amazing.
Thank y'all for teaching me and helping me and answering all my asinine questions.
Your questions are never asinine. They're always appropriate. But thank you so much. Thank you to our mods. We appreciate all the work you do. Happy birthday, Kyle. You got a pass for your jokes today. Tomorrow, no pass. So enjoy.
But Wednesday is okay. McStreamy jokes.
No. There will be no pass.
Okay, well then he can make his jokes after you chicken out and go to bed.
All he has to
People
do is
make
wait
fun
for
of
the
me.
first fish drawing, and then he can go wide
That's
open.
right.
on.
Then you can make all the jokes you want. But happy birthday. We love you very much.
Yes, we do.
All our member milestone chatters, thank you very much. And thank you for all of you in chat today. Thank you, lurkers. Thank you, replay crew. I think that's everyone.
Yeah. Leave questions in the comments if you got them, and we get the comments. And I'm still waiting for someone to drop the links to the streams.
Yes, and subscribe to Didi. Subscribe to Didi because we love Didi very much. She makes cool content. She's a cool person. She's what I want to be for coolness level someday.
Oh Lord,
My
have
hands
mercy.
are up here.
He asked
One
for
of you mod the link in chat. My hands are up here, as you can see. Or
They're disappearing.
as you kind of see. I'll keep moving them so they don't.
That's
We're both
right.
here.
But thank you so much, and enjoy Scotty. Have links. There we go, Jenna. Good job.
There we go. Jenna did it. There we go.
Links.
Good.
So
Thank you, Jenna.
thank
That's
you, Jenna.
Scotty's.
One of our
And
fabulous mods is Jenna.
here, and I'll just drop Metalhead. It's right here.
That's right.
Oh, so
and,
you can moderate from panel, but I can't?
My channel, I do what I want.
That's what he wants.
That's right.
I don't like
One
to,
thing is
but
for certain, I'm not gonna moderate. I'm not gonna do it.
alrighty.
I'm the worst
Well, thanks
moderator.
everybody, and don't forget the Didi crew.
Yeah.
See y'all later.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, y'all. Thanks.